Hi guys, in this episode of the Nostalgia Trip, as you can see by the title, I'm gonna be finishing off my reactions to the Fullmetal Alchemist 2003 series. We still have the movie to cover in the next Nostalgia Trip video, but this is pretty much gonna be it for this series. And I think it's kind of cool that we are going to be finishing it off with a 3-episode reaction, because I haven't done a 3-episode reaction for this show. And I feel like I should keep these kind of like 3-episode reactions for special events, because it just makes it cooler, you know? But the reason why I'm doing 3 episodes for the finale for this show is because the episodes for this show are an odd number, so I had to do it at some point, and I decided to do it at the end here. And the episodes that we're going to be checking out are obviously going to be episode 49, The Other Side of the Gate, episode 50, Death, and episode 51, Laws and Promises, Munich 1921. So yeah, I've talked about before how excited I am about the ending of this series, because that's the part of the show that I remember from when I was a kid, because I remember it leaving such a big impact on me. But the thing is, I don't know exactly how it goes and how the ending is, and whether what I remember truly happens, and it happens the way I remember it. So I'm still gonna keep my thoughts about the ending and talking about my memories of the ending for once we see the story and where it's going. Like, I'm gonna mention things that I remember once they happen, but I loved the ending as a kid. Even though I don't really remember the rest of the series, I just remember how cool it was, and how unique it was, and how interesting it was. It's just, I remember the vibe of it and the feeling that it left me with. So I can't wait to see this story through here and feel that feeling again. But as usual, before we get into the reaction, I do want to remind you that you can get a full-on version of these reactions over on my Patreon or my Ko-fi account, where by subscribing at the specific tiers I've created for it, you can either get access only to the full-length reactions to the cartoons that I do and their associated movies, like the movie that we're going to be checking out in the next episode of the Nostalgia Trip, or alternatively, you can go for the higher tier, which includes pretty much all of my full-length reactions. Not only the cartoon ones, but also the ones to the live action TV series that I react to, and to the movies that I react to that are not connected to an existing cartoon series. But again, if you don't want to go through that, and you just want to stick with the YouTube versions of the reactions, that's also fine. My channel is monetized at this point in time, so I'm able to support myself doing this through that alone. But it is obviously going to be appreciated if you decide to support me through Patreon, because it's still, the money that I make through YouTube right now is still not enough for me to like do this full time as a job, you know. But yeah, anyway, I think that's all I've had to cover, so without further ado, let's just get into the reaction and get into the cool stuff. With episode 49, The Other Side of the Gate, in 3, 2, 1.
Father, you come home.
Wait, he has a kid? How does he have a kid? He's a homunculi. Why do I feel like that's a fucking bomb that is gonna kill the kid?
Oh, wow. Thank you, Father.
Oh, it's a train.
Not every day a young man turns 10. My son.
I honestly loved getting trains when I was a kid. I really used to, and still do, love trains and playing with trains.
Do you have any clue how many people Scar had to kill to create the Philosopher's Stone? Of all the soldiers that invaded Lior, 7,000 never made it home.
Damn.
But don't fret, they're right in here. Oh, I bet you didn't even realize all the souls of the Ishbalans that were sealed in Scar's armor inside you now. Isn't that great? So now that
No, it's not.
Just how valuable you are to us.
There's so many moments when I should die. Time
after time after time. But I survived. And for what? Why do I deserve to live when so many others have died?
The philosopher's
Good
stone.
question.
Those who possess it
I don't have the
no
answer to
longer
that.
bound.
Hopefully we will see the other side of the gate. I'm really excited about that possibility.
A number of years ago, my father wanted to learn how to make red water, so he came to Central. When he got here, he managed to work his way into a place called Laboratory 5.
So you're involved in that shit too?
Certain gifted alchemist. It wasn't long before this man began to share his secrets, like how to transmute red water into the Philosopher's Stone by using human lives, as well as the secret location of what was to be referred to by insiders as the true laboratory.
From the sound of his note, it seems like we've just scratched the surface.
Wait, isn't that the church where
they
they took Rose to?
time like the present to find out if he was telling the truth. I'm going alone.
And this is a church, I bet that's a Church of Christ. Because they said that it's a religion that died out a long time ago, but why? So this is a alternate universe to ours? Even like timeline wise, like I've always wondered what point in time is this show supposed to be set in?
I didn't tell you all this so you could create the
Or should I say period of human development? Because Avatar, for example, doesn't have an ear, but it's obviously set in like the 1700s. Hey, we're actually in that place from the trailer. I mean, the opening.
According to my father's writings, if you enter this hidden temple and journey far below Central, you'll find a city buried beneath it.
Whoa.
Not long after Father arrived, he began to hear bizarre rumors about a city that once stood where Central stands today. But 4 centuries ago, it had somehow mysteriously vanished in one night, along with all of its inhabitants. At first, Father chalked it up to local folklore, but as he became more entrenched in the secret
This reminds me of Ghost Whisperer.
he soon found
If
out
you've seen that show, you would know why.
The stories were, in fact, true.
They were all sacrificed for the Philosopher's Stone. Then all evidence of their existence was erased. Using alchemy, the city was pulled underground, leaving nothing behind but a rumor to fuel the curious.
Damn, that is dark.
Only monsters could come up with such a plan. Are you in here, Dad?
It's not that your dad who did this.
You came up with the whole plan, didn't you? Tell me!
Will someone tell me what happened to my guest?
I don't know. Maybe she's lost. No, we must make sure to wear our finest dresses.
And now I feel bad for fucking Gluttony as well. Are you kidding me, show?
Please!
Jeez! Stop abusing him.
Don't even think about it. Now come here.
No, Izumi!
Your students will soon follow.
Hell yeah!
You'll regret this.
Thanks, guys! Right in time. Man, this is so eerie, seeing this whole town buried underground. Is that still Rose?
I've been waiting for you.
Guys, what the fuck are you doing?
I've been waiting for you. For us. Edward, I love you.
The fuck?
Look, Rose, I don't think you realize what you just said to me. We're just friends. I know you said before that Dante had been murdered, but you were awfully vague. You never told me who did it or why.
A
Yeah.
homunculus named Greek killed her. I could have sworn I told you that.
You're lying to me.
Am I?
The
Yes.
transmutation circle in Dante's mansion was designed specifically to drain a homunculized power. And the human remains that were Greed's weakness were laid out in the same room. Even if he wanted to, Greed couldn't have made a move against her.
Yep.
That's all very interesting, but I saw her corpse with my own eyes.
That proves nothing except that the body she was squatting in could no longer serve its purpose.
What?
Yep. I love that he's
Let's say the
realizing
Philosopher's
this.
Stone I think Dante faked your death and used the stone to take over a younger body. A body like yours would be just the right fit.
Edward, stop it! It's
Oh,
not true.
fuck you! Spare me this bullshit. She can also clap, huh?
That was too close.
When did you see the gate? That's the only way you could transmute without a circle. And Lyra couldn't do that before. Your secret's up, Dante. So how many times have you jumped bodies?
Well, in 400 years you can lose count. It's less than 10. After all, I had to use the Philosopher's Stone each time.
And that's what happened to this city. Lives for the stone.
Don't forget the fabled lost civilization in the East. It was the same. But I'm not the one who made it happen.
No, it was Hohenheim of Light.
You say it so formally. Why don't you just call him Dad?
Did he live this way too? Stealing bodies, creating wars? And for what purpose?
Humans are controlled by their sins, and the Philosopher's Stone has power far greater than any weapon ever forged. So I've taken cities. Humans would destroy the world. The lives lost have been necessary martyrs, saving mankind from itself. I am the guardian, the shepherd of sins. I have to...
Oh, spare me that fucking messiah complex, bitch.
The stone.
Don't kid yourself! You're human just like us!
Not anymore. You don't have feelings.
Fuck you, you manipulative bullshit, bitch. Oh, why? Why there? Why there of all places would you show that?
Exchange. Every time you jump, you lose part of yourself.
Equivalence. Don't tell me you still believe in that naive theory.
It's no theory. It's the absolute law of alchemy. No, of the whole world. To obtain anything, something of equal value must be lost. You couldn't have gotten anywhere without knowing that.
A beautiful story, told to comfort...
Yeah, that is actually true for our world as well, when you think about it.
People work because they believe it will pay, but equal effort does not always mean equal gain.
Like what?
Consider the state alchemy exam which you passed with flying colors. How many others took the test that day? Spent months, years preparing, some working much harder than you. Yet you were the only one who passed. Where was their reward? Is it their fault they lacked your natural talent? While others are born into wealth without ever working at all. It's a cruel and random world, and yet the chaos is all so beautiful.
I took you as a child to fuel your agenda!
Your dad said that too.
Hello?
Wait, what?
Where am I? Oh, my head feels like it's been put through.
Wait, what?
Okay, that's odd.
No shit it is!
Edward, quick! It's an air raid. We have to go now.
Hang on a fucking second!
What the hell's going on here, old man? What is this place? Where are we?
Wait, what? Edward, you're not sounding like yourself.
Honey, I don't really feel like myself either. And what is this city? What's happened to my body? Did Dante do this?
Transmute. Does that word mean anything to you?
Yes!
It does!
But how did you get here?
Yeah, good question.
We'll talk later.
What's attacking?
Zeppelins!
Zep, what?
Is it World War II? It is! I think. I don't know. So, my speculation and my memories were fucking correct. On the other side of the gate is a parallel universe that is supposed to be our world. I think that is the case, isn't it? Right? I mean, I'm gonna talk about it more after we're done with the whole story, so I feel like I shouldn't really spend too much time talking about everything between each episodes, because it's best to just wait it out to get the whole thing. But that's what I remember from when I was a kid. That once they go through the door, you end up in a parallel universe. But that still doesn't explain a lot of stuff, but I just want to say how much I love that concept. Of them living in this crazy supernatural world with like the existence of alchemy, and then they can travel through this gate where they go to the normal world. Like, to me, this left such an impact when I was a kid, that once I had this weird dream where I don't know if I was transported or I was living, but I was in the world of Transformers, and I was being like an ally to the Transformers. That's what I was dreaming. And then at the end, once they defeated their enemies, I was supposed to go back to the real world. And it's kind of the same feeling that I got from this show and them traveling to this parallel universe. It's the same kind of vibe, and I think that's what inspired that dream of mine. And I don't know, that to me is such a cool concept, where you're just like from this crazy awesome world, and you get transported or forced to live in this more normal world. And I don't know, it's just such a really crazy cool concept, and I love it, and it's just so weirdly fascinating to me. But I am gonna talk about it more, I guess, after the other episodes. For this one, it was a little bit slow, but it was very exposition-y, and it was very exposition-y, but it was honestly actually pretty entertaining. So I don't think it's the fact that I'm reacting during the night that I wasn't enjoying the last 4 episodes as much as I did the previous couple. But it was because they just weren't that entertaining, but it was still pretty entertaining. We learned a lot of stuff and everything, but I don't understand how he was suddenly transported here with Hohenheim after this. And I'm curious to learn whether this this version of Hohenheim is him after he was sent by her earlier. There's just a lot of questions that I have right now in my brain. And in terms of a rating for this episode, I think I am going to give this one a 9.9 out of 10, honestly. Because, yes, it was very exposition-y and not necessarily exciting in terms of the action, but it gave me a lot of that stuff that I'm interested in regards to the ending of this show, with like the parallel universe and everything. So I'm just excited and curious to learn more about it. So I just want to get into the next episode. So let's do that, I guess. So let's go to episode 50, Death, in 3, 2, 1. It is during the Second World War, right? This is such an out-of-nowhere concept shift, by the way, I just want to say. It's such a crazy thing for this show to go into at the end of it. Oh, this supernatural world with alchemy, people suddenly can travel to the real world.
Scientific discovery developed along a different track. Physics and advanced machinery instead of alchemy. Came as quite a shock to me too when I arrived.
In this world?
I thought you realized. You see, this is the other side of the gate.
Why is this the other side of the gate, though? I'm so confused and excited, though.
Philosopher's Stone.
I just want this shit to get explained to me, because, like, it's such a crazy concept that these people live in this alternate universe, and the two universes are separated by like a fucking gate or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's such a fucking batshit insane concept for an ending. And I don't know if I want you guys to tell me whether this is the same kind of ending that the manga has, or whether this was something that they came up with, because it does kind of feel out of fucking left field, all things considered, because all of a sudden we're talking about parallel universe and shit. But it is such a cool concept. It is such a cool concept.
Lieutenant Colonel! They've sent in the tanks!
Why don't you let me handle this? I haven't perfected my Colonel Mustang impersonation.
Holy shit! Jeez! How is this guy still alive?
Okay, let's move. Where are we supposed to go? We've set up a rally point for all the dissenting soldiers to regroup. If we go down, we'll do it together.
Throughout the course of this war, millions of people have been killed with the use of highly toxic gases. But the single most terrifying instrument of death is yet to come. You saw it in the gate, didn't you?
Nuclear bomb?
The lives of those that have died and will die in this world become the energy for the alchemy used in ours.
The energy? That doesn't make any sense. What about the
Law of equivalent exchange. There's something you don't understand. It takes more than equal mass to restore a broken radio. The energy used to put it back together must come from somewhere too. And energy cannot be created or destroyed, only redirected.
So
Huh.
What's the secret? The lives of the people who die here cross the gate and become energy we need for transmutations? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Inside all of us, there lies a smaller version of the gate you pass through. Alchemists have the ability to open their gates, crossing worlds and feeding off the tragedies of this one. It happens every time you draw a circle or clap hands.
You sound just like that hit case Dante! All the same crap about there being no equivalent exchange.
I wasn't aware that you knew about her.
I know everything. I know the two of you were lovers because I read the letter. I know you've been keeping yourselves alive, jumping from one body to another. But what I don't understand is if you and that evil bitch were so perfect together...
Damn, he said the word bitch?
Did you get some sick satisfaction?
The language in this show is insane. Is this supposed to be a kid's show?
With all of my being, I had never loved until her. You have to believe that.
Then why? Why did you leave us?
I just couldn't let you see me like this. The thought of it was too much for me to bear.
Look, half-wit, we're all waiting on you. Now listen to me. If you don't get your fat ass over there right now, I'll force him down your throat myself. We've come too far for you to screw it up now.
Where is she?
What are you gonna do?
Keep your distance. The only thing left inside of him now is his urge to feed. Without his mind, there will be no more human attachments to distract him. Now, he is pure.
Well, why didn't you do that to them in the first place?
She separated my mind, body, and soul while I was inside, leaving me to wander in that limbo forever. But despite her efforts, I put myself back together and wound up here.
Is that what happened to me?
Not quite. The success of alchemy seems to be the diverging point for these worlds. We share the same history before that, and much is still the same. It's highly probable that your true body's still somewhere inside the gate. But your mind and soul have crossed over into this world, and they were attracted like magnets to this Edward's body.
Lieutenant Colonel Churchill needs to see you immediately.
Churchill?
Hey,
What?
Wait!
Again, this is just so fucking weird. Such a shift.
It's inside you.
But aren't you coming too?
I'm afraid that's not possible. Since my body has already crossed the gate, I'm completely a part of this world now. And because alchemy seems to be impossible here, I'm stranded. But luckily, it isn't too late for you.
There must be something we can do.
You should know I was relieved to find out the law of equivalence wasn't true. That people mustn't always be required to pay a price in order to gain something of value in return. Because even if I lived for 1,000 lifetimes, I could never do enough to deserve the gift of my children. You.
Oh.
I can't agree with you. I know if I try my hardest, I'll be rewarded. And I believe that applies to all of us. It doesn't matter who.
So how are you gonna go back now, Ed?
It pays off. I know equivalent exchange is true.
But this world.
If it's childish to believe in this, so be it. I'd rather be considered a child than follow a doctrine of cynicism and chaos.
Same.
I thought I didn't care, Dad. That I didn't need to believe in things. But I was wrong.
Is that what's gonna send Ed back? Nope. Not working. Is he gonna have to lose his arm and leg in this world too?
Why am I not surprised you decided to face me alone? Your behavior leads me to assume this isn't the first time you betrayed my trust. You've got a hell of a lot of nerve lecturing me about betrayal. Are you referring to the fact that I am homunculus? Whether or not you can call yourself a human being is a non-issue as far as I'm concerned, Bradley. You couldn't care less for this state.
Yeah.
What you wanted was the Philosopher's Stone. You started those conflicts because you knew people pushed to despair by war tend to seek refuge in the stone. People are foolish. Foolish enough to let you profit off their pain and suffering? You've got me all wrong. To stop the human race from leading itself to ruin, I intervene and take the stone, thereby preventing its use. I think of myself as one of God's guardian angels. There's no such thing as God. We can't know that.
I agree.
However, devils do exist. They're the alchemists who dare to get in my way.
So he's a homunculus with a god complex.
A quick slash of my sword changes the air currents.
Basically pride.
Precious alchemic. My ultimate eye sees your alchemy at work. Even if you dare to love a flame, it won't have any accuracy.
He destroyed it. So now he won't be able to use it. She's sending him back to the gate? Why is the baby the key to the fucking gate?
Like the entire universe revolves around him, not even caring that one false move could activate the Philosopher's Stone before it's reached its full potential.
Why did it take his arm and leg again?
Master, the gate is still here.
It's here for you. Or maybe not.
Brother?
How did you do that, Ed?
But does that mean another Ed had to die? His life traded for mine? Of course, you were bad luck for a lot of us, weren't you? I'd still be with my wife and adorable little girl if I hadn't met you. It must be tough fighting against a friend.
Man, I've missed him so much.
Have you forgotten what I did to your friend Sloth? I killed her while she was wearing the face of my own mother. You're gonna pay for this! Don't mess with me!
Edward, please stop it! Calm down, kid. Give up, kid. You don't have what it takes to kill me.
I don't think you could have picked an easier target!
Yeah, I was thinking so too.
Stop being a coward! Whose only real power is to hide behind other people's faces!
Do you really want to see?
Stop jerking me around!
You asked for it.
Yes, I know what face he's gonna pick.
was the very first homunculi, created by Hohenheim almost 400 years ago. The result of the failed human transmutation of our son, who died prematurely of mercury poisoning. I suppose you could say that Envy was once your brother.
But then he abandoned me, started fresh with his perfect wife and kids. Needless to say, I never did like being replaced.
So now fucking what? He's dead. How are you gonna fix that? Is Al gonna have to use the Philosopher's Stone to bring back Ed, thus sacrificing himself, and then Ed is gonna have to sacrifice himself to bring back Al, and then thus Ed being forced to cross over to the other side of the gate? Is that what's gonna happen? Because I think I remember that's exactly what's gonna happen. That's my prediction, so I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, I did not remember that about Envy being his son. I guess he or she or whatever was not using their true face. But hasn't he jumped multiple bodies? Which means that he has been in the current body for a while, because otherwise why would Envy's original body look the way it does? Like, why would it have blonde hair and look like a brother to Ed? How would that make any sense? Because he has jumped from body to body, different, same soul but different DNA, different everything, so it wouldn't make sense for them to look in any way similar. But yeah, this is again another one of those cases for this show where, as the events of the episode unfolded, I was reminded of when I watched the episode originally, when I saw those events, especially the bursting Ed's chest part. I think I remember that. That's why I say I predict that Al is going to sacrifice himself to bring back Ed in full, and then Ed's going to have to sacrifice himself to get Al's body back. Because I think that's exactly what happens. And I guess we're going to find out in the next episode, but this one was definitely really good, and I liked hearing the explanation about the other side of the gate and everything. Like I said, that concept to me is just such a entertainingly crazy concept, and I really like it. So yeah, this episode is honestly gonna get a 10 out of 10 for me. I really liked it. It was a really fun, really entertaining episode with a lot of exposition, obviously, but that is honestly the best part of the show, whenever they expose it and world build. I do love that a lot. But I am curious how they'll manage to wrap it up in the next episode. So let's just get into that one, and I guess we're gonna talk about it more after that, aren't we? So let's get into episode 51, Laws and Promises, Munich 1921, in 3, 2... Yeah, he's the main character. How can the main character die? I really can't wait to see how this wraps up.
It was Lieutenant Hawkeye. Hawkeye? And you let her live?
Ooh, I was worried that she was gonna die.
Don't you fire, Colonel! The other ones are interrogated at headquarters, sir. Have you seen headquarters? We're
Jeez.
I haven't had the chance to test my
Man, I really have a hard time picking a thumbnail for this one.
body explode. Even if this had somehow worked, the council would have found you out and they'd never let an assassin back into their fold. I didn't do this for politics. I couldn't forgive myself for being blind this long. This was the only way I could atone for the friends I didn't save. Well then, by all means, I could help you with that. Give my best regards to General Hughes.
Don't you dare kill him, you piece of shit!
What's going on? And I wanted to make sure that you were okay.
The thing! He's carrying the thing! That's how they're gonna kill him!
You look like you're hurt. What's wrong?
What have you done, you idiot?
I got it from your safe. You said your life depended on it, and I didn't want it to get hurt in the fire. Mother! Stop!
Oh my god, don't let him kill the child!
You are foolish, all of you, even my own son.
Did you just kill your son? Oh, he's gonna blow it up. He's gonna blow it up, I think.
I don't know how long you've lived, Fuhrer, or how many times you've cheated death, but not anymore.
Oh shit!
It's the end of the line.
That is so badass.
Brother hasn't been dead for long. Look, there's still some color in his face. His soul is probably still at the gate. I just have to pull it back. The same way he did for me.
Don't be a fool. You know what could happen to you.
Yeah, I do. A lot of people died to make this stone. And I would have died too, if not for them. And it's time I gave my share and made my own choice.
Hell yeah, you finally matured, Alphonse.
This is for you, brother. I'll miss you.
Is the kid dead? Shoot him in the head! Man, everybody's so fucked up and beaten up from this shit.
General! Damn it, Roy Mustang, talk to me!
Is he dead?
I've come to kill him! Take me to Hood out of light!
I don't think that's where it's gonna take you.
Stop messing with me! You'll do as I tell you! You're taking me to see Hohenheim! To that bastard! To my father!
What the hell? Ed?
Edward, can you hear me?
Was I right or was I right?
But what am I crying for?
His arm!
He used alchemy to bring you back, Ed, after you died.
The Philosopher's Stone. He used it to fix my body and pull my soul from the gate. But then what happened to him?
Damn that child. How could he squander the stone like that with
Don't show me your tits.
condition?
They're disgusting.
I'll have to send Pride down there to teach those boys a lesson.
I'm afraid Pride is no more.
You don't understand me, do you? Just hold on. We'll find you something to eat soon, okay?
Well, she found herself something to eat. Don't worry about her. Or him, I don't know. It's hard to tell their gender sometimes. Yep, that's a shot I remember.
I hate to ask this, but could you take him to the surface too?
What about you?
I'll destroy this place down to the last plank, so no one ever gets the idea to create a Philosopher's Stone this way again.
Very well. I'm sure whatever.
I don't think that's what he's gonna do.
You've got strong legs. You'll get up and use them, won't you, Edward?
If what my dad said about the gate is true, Al's old body and mind should still be there. And now his soul is there too. Maybe life has no equal trade. Maybe you can give up all you've got and get nothing back. But still, even if I can't prove it's true, I have to try. For your sake. Al.
Yep, I fucking called it. Now he's gonna sacrifice himself to get Al back, and he's gonna get stuck on the other side of the door.
Central is finally settling down to some normalcy. After the fall of Führer King Bradley, the new government didn't waste any time taking over, and the military surrendered control of the state back to the old assembly. But that doesn't mean the end of war. Several neighboring states still vying for power and reacting to old wounds. There is good news, though. The Assembly has voted to completely reverse the Ishbalan policy. They're going to help them rebuild on their old land. It's going to be...
That's nice. He lost an eye?
So when they found him, he was a 10-year-old boy again, with no memories of anything that took place in these last 4 years.
Yeah, that is so weird that they bring him back as a 10-year-old.
Never happened at all.
I still can't get my head around all this. Do you think Edward's really gone for good?
There's no way to know what Ed paid to make this happen. A life for a life has never been enough. It's possible he traded with experience, that the value of the memories they shared together these 4 years became payment for getting Al back as he is.
Lately, he can't last an hour without sticking his nose in an alchemy book. It's like the old days. It comforts him, I think. Reminds him of Ed.
I want to know more alchemy and more on equivalent exchange, so that one day soon I can be with brother again.
This is the same way you got where you
I
are.
have no idea how to make that
It's
work,
the same
but
mistake.
if I study hard enough, I will find a way to bring him back. You got a deal. I'll find a way to bring brother back, and then we'll all be a perfect team.
Well, you're not gonna be a perfect team because you're a fucking 10-year-old boy. That is still so weird. It's weird that he's younger. It makes sense, but it's just weird.
You really believe that knowledge can come from this sorcery?
The Dual Society knows certain truths about the Aryan race. We come from an island long forgotten by the modern world. Communicating with the ancients will teach us what we've lost and help us fulfill our destiny. We are counting on your continued help, Professor.
Not to worry. As you know, I'm a hunter of lost knowledge myself, Professor Haushofer.
Don't tell me he created the fucking Nazis as well. Because it does say in Munich 1921. So that must have been World War I.
It's absurd and absolutely ridiculous. How long is this inflation going to last?
Oh shit! It is after World War I. This ending is so fucking weird.
A liquid fuel rocket. Robert Hutchins Goddard.
He's an American, but there's another guy studying the same thing in Transylvania right now.
Wouldn't happen to be named Dracula, would he?
It's Herman Oberth. He's been a student here in Munich. I'm gonna see him.
You mind telling me why?
He thinks he can get to outer space in a rocket. No one knows exactly what's up there beyond the atmosphere. Maybe it's like the gate. A portal between different worlds.
That's not the case, Ed.
No one believes him.
If you can't use alchemy, you go by machines. Is that the plan, son?
I know that my alchemy did something. I saw Al put back together at the gate. I thought it was for me. But then I woke up here, and until I understand why, I have to keep working.
You knew the only way to keep your body and mind was to come to this side, so you did it without thinking. Subconsciously, as Freud would say.
Still, without return to me, I lost again. I should have found a better method.
But nothing's ever perfect. Haven't you realized that yet? Earth turns on a tilted axis, just doing the best it can.
So he lost an arm and a leg again?
It's wrong. I thought I made an equal exchange. My body, mind, and soul for his. Yet here I am, still alive. So does that mean Dante was right, except to the opposite extreme, and I got something for nothing? Or does it mean that in reality, Al wasn't...
You boys had a long journey together. All the people you helped along the way. All the hardships. The pain of losing friends you loved. The determination, sweat, and blood. Don't you think that may have been the price you paid?
I don't know how to get back to you. This world's a strange place. But one thing's for sure. I will find a way. We'll be together soon now.
In the sequel movie, 2 years after the original series ended.
Cannot gain anything. I think of it as a promise between my brother and me. A promise that someday we'll see each other again.
You will. This is such a weird ending. Have I said that already? Because I still fucking believe it. It's so weird. This show in general is so fucking weird and interesting and unusual. God damn it. This ending is weird. Have I said that already? Because it fucking is. I mean, in general, this show is fucking weird, but I think it's weird because it's both doesn't make any sense, but it also feels perfectly fitting. I can't really explain it. It's perfectly balanced like that, you know? Because it doesn't feel like, in general for this show, it doesn't really feel like anything was building up properly and everything was like building up upon what was already happening, but at the same time it also works. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's so hard for me to describe this show. It somehow feels all over the place and so perfectly constructed. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe it's the nostalgia blinding my mind about the bad things about it and about the inconsistencies, but I don't know, man. I just don't even know what to say in regards to this ending for this show. Because, like, it's cool, it's interesting, it's weird, it's thought-provoking, it's confusing, and I like it. But at the same time, it doesn't really feel like at any point during the show's run, it was telling us that it was gonna lead us here. It never felt like this was what it was going to end, where it was going to end. It just feels like they kind of pulled it out of their ass a little bit. I don't know. It's such a weird ending, and hopefully after I've sat on this show for a little bit, when I sit down and do like my proper review of this series, I'll have more to say about it. But as it stands, I can say that I definitely enjoyed these final 3 episodes. They definitely felt as good as I remembered, or at least like the vibe that I remember from them, and what left the impact on me all those years ago still left the impact on me. But the thing is, it still feels like something was lacking with this show in general and with these episodes. And I don't know exactly what it is. It just feels like it didn't quite live up to what I remember the show being. Like, it didn't live up to how exciting it was and how action-packed I remember the show being. Sure, I enjoyed it and everything, but it still doesn't feel quite complete. It doesn't feel like a complete transmutation, you know? But yeah, I think the most that I like about this show is just the vibe that it has. But it feels like it's such a clusterfuck. Both the story and the world of this show is such a clusterfuck of mishmash ideas that are really, really cool. Like, I think that's the thing about this show. I think the concepts that it has are really cool. Everything from alchemy to automail to homunculus to the gate and to parallel traveling to parallel worlds through the gate. Those are really cool ideas, but I don't think they were quite done in a way where it feels like everything was thought through. It kind of feels, I guess, like whoever was writing this, they wrote it as they came up with it. And it still ended up being pretty cool because they wrote out the story as it flowed from their head, from their brain. Like how I write. But at the same time, it makes it feel like everything wasn't thought through. Everything wasn't written in a way where it was building up to this, you know? It doesn't feel like it was building up to here from the beginning. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I'm curious what the movie is gonna be about. And exactly what it's I mean, I kind of have a vague idea, obviously, also based on the ending of this show, with this episode. It's obvious where it's going to go with Ao trying to bring back Ed. And talking about Ao, it's still so fucking weird that he gets brought back as a 10-year-old. Like I said, it makes complete sense. Why? Because his body was stuck in the gate for all this time and it didn't age, obviously. So if he gets back, he's not gonna have aged. But at the same time, it's so fucking weird that nobody brings it up as something weird. Because, like, he's supposed to be, like, Wenry's age, right? And now she's, like, a big sister to him. I don't know, that just comes off really fucking weird to me. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one another 10 out of 10. I think it was a really good episode. And again, like I said last time, I fucking predicted what was going to happen because I guess I fucking remembered it. But again, I think you can see why these final 3 episodes and the movie, as you will see in the next episode of the Nostalgia Trip, why they left such a mark on me. Because it's such a weird and batshit and interesting concept. And yeah, I just really like the ending of the show. And I'm really curious to read other people's opinions on the ending and on this show in general. So if you guys have any thoughts, definitely make sure to comment them down below. And try not to spoil me about any differences that this might have in the Brotherhood version. Because I would want to find that out for myself whenever I do react to it. But yeah, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this. Because to me, the concept of this show is really cool, but I feel like the story could have been executed better. I definitely think so. And I definitely think the action was severely lacking from what I expected it was going to be, and I remember it being. And it was especially infuriating because whenever I looked at those opening intros to the episodes, they looked so exciting and fun, and all this time I was waiting to get to those episodes which those intros are supposed to portray, and those episodes never came. Like, it doesn't feel like I was quite satisfied with this. So, for the episode, I am going to give it a 10 out of 10. But for this show, it's probably going to be only like an 8. And mainly because of the concepts. But, like, I like the world, I like the characters, I like the concepts. I just feel like the plot is kind of a train wreck. And I feel like I said, it's a good idea, and it's been executed decently well. But I feel like you could shift the puzzle pieces around to make it fit better, you know? Because it does feel like things I mean, I don't know how to describe it, man. It's such a fucking complicated show to wrap your head around. It just feels... It feels like everything is justified in the way it happens, in the way the story goes. It makes sense. It's like it flows in a realistic manner. It flows like how I guess it would flow, if this was happening for real. But it doesn't feel like a satisfyingly thought through story. Does that make any sense? It's kind of like the way Marvel treats stories versus the way DC treats stories, or more specifically the way Marvel writes dialogue versus the way DC writes dialogue, where DC tries to make their dialogue more deep and meaningful and more unrealistic. Marvel, on the other hand, tries to go for a more realistic kind of dialogue, like you saw in like Spider-Man No Way Home, where you just had the three Spider-Mans talking to each other as if it is the actors actually talking to each other, and that was really cool. But that's kind of the approach to the show, where I like it, like I enjoy it the way it is, but I don't feel satiated. Is that the word that it means when you do not feel full after eating? Like, that's kind of how I feel. Like, I enjoyed it, it was tasty, but I don't feel satiated by this show. Hopefully the movie is gonna complete that, because obviously the movie was released several years after the ending of the series, probably after the manga was finished, so they're probably gonna try to make the ending a little bit more similar to the manga, and they're gonna try to finish it up more like that. So yeah, I guess we're gonna find out once we get into the movie. But yeah, what did you guys think about these final 3 episodes? Comment your thoughts down below and let's have a discussion about it. And also, before we end this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to my currently 1 patron on Patreon, Deadpool. Thank you for your support, I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that you have decided to support me, you have continued to support me for such a long time. Hope you continue to enjoy my content and continue to support me going forward. Thank you very much. Another thing that I also want to tell you guys before we end this video is something about me that some of you may or may not know, that will also explain why do I look and dress the way that I do. That being the fact that I am trans. In particular, I am somewhere between a non-binary person and a trans woman. I'm not quite sure at the moment, and probably won't be sure until I talk to a professional who deals with trans people, but that is where the reason why I'm telling you all this comes. I need your help. Due to the fact that I live in a homophobic and transphobic Eastern European country with a family that won't really accept the fact that I'm trans if they found out, there is not really a feasible or easy way for me to transition here with minimal repercussions. So that's why I would really appreciate any kind or any amount of support that you guys can give me with this. That said, I don't want to guilt trip you or anything, so if you don't want to or you don't have the means to help out, that's fine, don't feel bad. I just want you to know that it would be greatly appreciated if you did help me out get out of this situation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and thank you for hearing me out. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me over there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you do enjoy my stories or simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to my Patreon or to my Ko-fi account, where you can pledge your support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think this is pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one, which is going to be the final one for the Fullmetal Alchemist. So yeah, see you in that one. Bye.